the entire outside world to poop in, and you poop on my porch. He's a former patient.
So he likes it here.
He was the most broken. He probably wins the award for the most fractured in one birth.
Really? Do you know what happened, or somebody just found him?
He was hit by a car, and he got stuck in a storm drain. And he was a brand spanking new baby, so he wasn't the brightest thing on the planet. So it probably was just him being kind of stupid. Sorry, Fido. And
his name is Fido?
Well, unofficially, that's his name.
He looks like a Fido.
Because he's more like a puppy dog than he is like an ibis. And these two lovely ladies just happened to be out walking and saw him all crunched up in the storm drain and went to rescue him. And they're in Old Town, and you know the streets are narrow. And one of them gets brushed by a car, so she gets hit by a car while she's rescuing the ibis who got hit by a car.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And she was fine. It wasn't really serious, but still, it was like, geez, you know, that's dedication. You get hit by a car when you're trying to save the little guy.
Yeah.
So they bring him in. And it's just like, I mean, my little heart was breaking. I'm like, you guys, I can't fix this. Everything in this bird is broken. His jaw was broken, which was the most worrisome part. Then his wing was fractured. He probably had some broken ribs, and he had a broken leg. I mean, that's just way too many bones to try to fix all at one time. But since he was young and everything was still growing, I thought, well, what the heck. So we created a box filled with shredded paper. And we sort of made a mold of his body, and we just squished him in it. So it was literally like he was suspended in a body cast.
Yeah.
Because if you would have wrapped one thing, you would have hurt another thing. So we couldn't like do any of our standards, pinnings or wrappings or surgery. Too many things were broken. So we just put him in this mold, literally a little ibis mold, and put a tube down his throat and thought, well, little guy, if you're going to put up with us, we're going to, you know, keep going till, you know, he gives up. And he never, ever gave up. So he was in that box for about 3 weeks. And, you know, we take things out and clean and do everything and change it out. But basically, he was completely still for 3 weeks. And then we just graduated into what we call a donut, where he was in soft towels. And then he started to be able to walk again. He started to be able to use his jaw.
Little guy is quite the survivor.
So it took a long time. So he was with us during his formative months. He spent here in captivity. And then it was, our next challenge was to make sure he knew what it was like to be an ibis, because he missed all the time where he would have been learning to be an ibis because he was with us. Yes, I know, those are my toes. You love my toes. So we put him in an outdoor enclosure, literally right out here in the yard, and we never feed the wild animals. But while he was recovering, we started putting food out to encourage the ibis to come. So they would gather around his cage, and he would see what it's like to be an ibis. So we deliberately baited in ibis to be his friends. And it worked. He went right out, and he joined a flock of ibis. It took a couple weeks, and we, you know, encouraged him to come, and he spent time with them. And he knows what he is. He will spend almost all day with his fellow kind. So he knows he's an ibis. And he can forage. He does quite well. We'll watch him hunt, and he'll get big centipedes and snails. Now, he can't do little stuff like his friends can do.
Is that because his beak is sort of twisted
crooked,
like
yeah.
that?
He has trouble with small things, but larger food items he has no trouble with at all. And junk food, unfortunately, he has no trouble with at all. He goes over to the soup kitchen, and they feed him all sorts of things ibis shouldn't eat, and then he'll come back and he'll have really bad fecal material. His poopies will look bad because he's been eating bread and French fries and whatever else they eat over there.
My kind of ibis. My kind of ibis. Let's be buddies, Fido.